Falcon fans, Dirty Fanatic United faithfuls. We are back with another episode coming at you live. As always, I'm your host Chase, followed by my co-host Philip. Philip, how you been, man? What's been going on?
Been good. It's been an interesting week on many things, but yeah, I got.
Definitely been an interesting week. A lot going on as far as head coach rumors in the A. Bill Belichick being flown, treated like a real queen by Arthur Blank this past week. So Bill Belichick, possible coach in Atlanta, Jim Harbaugh, who knows? A lot to talk about here today. And Philip, I must say, we got a lot of special guests today to chat it up with. A bunch of well-known podcasters here for the Atlanta Falcon community. Philip, before we get started, man, we're going to run to the chat. We got a couple people popping off. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's here today. Be sure to leave a like, share. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. On the road to 1K, Philip, we just hit 252. So shout out to everybody that's supported us. And also, do not forget about our free giveaway. Be sure to hashtag DFU during the live show to be entered for the raffle of a free white or either black DFU hoodie. The raffle will be going on for about a month or so be sure to enter for that. Miss Pam and Chelly with it. She said, hello, Chase and Philip. Miss Pam, how you doing? Always support from Miss Pam, Philip. You know, Miss Pam's been a supporter from day one when there was only about 3 viewers in the chat. So shout out to Miss Pam. Our boy LaMarcus Boyd, big time supporter, said, what's up, fellas? Shout out to you, sir. Dwayne Ruffin in the chat said, rise up. Let's go, Harbaugh. Second interview. Philip, right before we went live, Bill Belichick actually just completed his second interview in Atlanta with Arthur Blank. Like I said, we're going to chat it up, waiting for a couple more people to hit the lobby before we start adding our special guests. But Philip, before we do so, just give me a little input on what you think about the whole situation with the Jim Harbaugh, the Bill Belichick. You know, you've heard a lot of rumors before the Bill Belichick interview actually happened. And then it seemed like today, Bill Belichick's the guy until right before an hour we went live. Jim Harbaugh was just breaking news. We'll interview him for a second time, I believe, Tuesday in Atlanta. Your thoughts on that situation?
My whole thoughts is, I mean, I can't complain. You know what I mean? I'm cool on both of them. You know, to me, it seems like they want the on go mode. They want to win now. I think that's what we're all on the same page with. Personally, I don't have one complaint about either one of them. Yes, we have had problems in the past, and after doing thoughts about Bill Belichick, he's still that guy. We have to admit. Whether you have bad blood with him, you still can't get over things in the past. It is what it is. It's the future now. He's trying to actually help us. So if he wants to help, hey, I'll take it.
I could agree 100%, Philip. You can't go wrong, really, I don't think, in that situation. It's kind of a hard situation to choose between. Like, I mean, it's a good thing that it's a hard situation. These are two well-known candidates. One finished his career in college with a national championship, and then the other with, I believe, 6 Super Bowl rings or 7 Super Bowl rings. So, I mean, the numbers and the stats speak for itself. Philip, enough of us chatting, man. Let's go ahead and bring in our first special guest today. Pound for pound, J.R. Clark, very well-known podcaster, been doing it big time over on his channel. I believe he has a co-host as well, Philip. We'll get his information before he's out of here. But J.R. Clark brought to the stage. J.R., how you doing, brother? Glad to have you here for the Dirty Fanatics United podcast collab.
What's going on, fellas? Y'all doing all right today?
Yes, sir. Doing pretty good.
Good. That's good. I appreciate y'all having me on. This is fun to jump on and with other like-minded folks who enjoy, you know, breaking down and chatting about the Falcons and engaging with other, you know, fan bases in a sense of like supporter groups. So I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yes, sir. Definitely a pleasure to have you here today. You heard the conversation I was having with Philip. Breaking news today, Bill Belichick finished his second interview in Atlanta. Jim Harbaugh is actually being brought back for a second interview in Atlanta this Tuesday. Just your thoughts on the whole situation. There have been a lot of rumors on Twitter X about, you know, a lot of speculations of Bill pretty much has sold in that spot. Just your thoughts on the whole situation.
It definitely does feel like that if Bill wants to be here, that this is where he's going to end up, right? At least
Right.
that's the feeling that the fan base gets. To this point, Bill hasn't interviewed with any other team yet. He hasn't interviewed with the Chargers, the Commanders, which he was heavily linked to at the beginning of the offseason. Obviously, Jerry Jones kept Mike McCarthy, so that was like a big flame getting quenched there,
Right.
getting snuffed out. But I went on a pretty good tirade yesterday on Twitter that I took a ton of heat for, which is fine. So my feelings are known. I don't necessarily want Bill Belichick here in the sense of the last few years hasn't been very good up in New England.
Right.
Now, it has come to light now. Look, I don't follow New England like I follow Atlanta, right?
Right.
So it has come to light that maybe Belichick hasn't had as much control over the past few years as it has been presented, but it's not just the past few years. Like his drafting has been putrid. We all know that.
Right.
So with the holes that we have in this team, it worries me, right? Especially at the QB position. If it was him that pulled the trigger on Mac Jones, that has me worried. Now, it sounds like he was trying to trade Mac Jones and, he got kiboshed on that. So maybe there's some hope there. But if it's a deal where you're bringing Belichick in with Josh McDaniels, that doesn't necessarily get me too pumped. But as I stated on Twitter, just like getting in an argument with my wife about getting a new dog, I ain't want the dog. But as soon as the dog comes in the house, he's now my responsibility to take care of, right?
Right.
So if that ends up being the hire, I'm going to support my
it.
team. You're right.
Yes, sir.
So
very, very true. You hit on a lot of points there. As far as Bill Belichick, he also was Bill the one that made the pull on Cam Newton? Is my question. There was a lot of non-play down in New England with Cam Newton there at quarterback, and which brings me to my next question: is if that was the case, would Justin Fields potentially land in Atlanta with Bill Belichick at head coach?
Well, you got to look at it like this. Like you bring up Fields, right? Say you get Belichick, and then Belichick brings in McDaniels. McDaniels has always had a fascination with that dual threat type quarterback.
Right.
From Tebow out in Denver, to Cam Newton in New England, even in a sense like a little bit of Derek Carr out there with Vegas. Now he eventually moved off of him, but still that dual threat has always been something that Josh McDaniels has seemingly chased. So like if you add a Dallas Turner with the first pick and then trade a second pick to get a Justin Fields, that I could see a scenario with that playing out.
100%.
Philip, your thoughts on Fields to Atlanta? Are you comfortable with giving away that first round draft pick to make that move for Justin Fields?
No, I'm gonna be honest, not really. To me, he hasn't proved anything out of his career to be worthy of that first round pick.
But some could agree, some could disagree. To each their own opinion. If you're in the chat and you disagree, let us know. We'll definitely chat about it here on Dirty Fanatics United. Philip, hold that thought. We have another special guest here in the lobby. Mr. Big Country, Big Low, is here. I'm not sure if he's available right this second, but Big Low is here in Dirty Fanatics United. There he is. Big Low, how you doing today, brother?
What in the world about what's going on with y'all, man? I'm actually making a Publix run right now. So, I would normally be on camera, but Coach Roney wanted a Publix sub. So,
gotta get that pub sub.
Go get a Publix. So that's it. Hello.
I got you. Well, while we got Big Low here for a short amount of time, Big Low, we just been talking about. Yes, sir. 100%. While we have you here for a little while, we're just chatting about the quarterback situation in Atlanta, the head coach. Rumors coming from Bill Belichick to Harbaugh. Just all in all, Bill Belichick actually just completed his second interview in Atlanta with the Falcons. Jim Harbaugh coming in Tuesday for his second interview. Just your thoughts on the whole situation. Who are you kind of favoring more? Is it Jim? Is it Bill? Just your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm favoring Jim Harbaugh. It's one of them situations where if you look at what he's done everywhere he's at, from San Diego State to Stanford to San Francisco and, what we just seen a couple of weeks ago in Michigan, is like, he knows how to build a program. I mean,
Right.
I feel like the Atlanta Falcons have the talent right now, but I feel like, as far as like actually having a culture and building the program, I feel like he could be very instrumental in that. We look at what he did in his last role in San Francisco. I mean, I look at it, I feel like Drake London is better than Michael Crabtree. I feel like
Yeah.
Sure.
Bijan Robinson is a more skilled runner than Frank Gore. I feel like Kyle Pitts is more skilled than Vernon Davis. And you got to get a quarterback to put it all together. And ironically, he put it all together with Colin Kaepernick, and previously Alex Smith. So,
Right.
I mean, if we could get Jim Harbaugh, I would love it. But I mean, if we get Bill Belichick, the winningest coach in NFL history, that's a pretty good consolation prize.
Yeah, 100%. Jay, I'll go ahead. You was about to say something?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. There's been a lot of rumor about, if it was Bill, would there be a possibility of going vet? We talked a little about it here about Justin Fields potentially coming to Atlanta. Just your thoughts, if Bill was to land in Atlanta, what would be his quarterback move if you were Bill Belichick?
I mean, if we look at what he did, in New England, like, he said, I haven't seen a coach really set things up for the future the way that he did, making sure that Gerard Mayo got the next, got the keys to the car after he left. Right. I would hope that he would do the same thing here. And I would hope that, we would get a veteran if he decides to go that route. I feel like we kind of need to, especially after last year. And I would hope that we draft a predecessor, for the future as well. That way we can kind of cover our bases and stop trying to go with the, young Thundercat coming out the gate like Matt Ryan and maybe possibly go to Jordan Love route, because I feel like they might be winning this weekend against San Francisco. It can happen. It can happen.
Just a round the table question here. Some would say Kirk Cousins would be a good fit in Atlanta. Just y'all's guys' overall thoughts of Kirk Cousins landing in Atlanta.
If you're looking at like a 3-year plan, with Belichick, right? Him being 71 years old, then a Kirk Cousins makes a certain amount of sense, especially if let's say you were somehow finagle Joe Brady as your OC. All right, I'm going to paint a whole scenario. Say you get Joe Brady, you do the Jared Mayo thing, you give him secession, like you're going to follow Bill, it's written into your contract, and then you give Kirk Cousins basically the 3 years with Bill, and then you draft a guy, whether it's first round, whether it's second round, like a Michael Penix or JJ McCarthy or Bo Nix, or like, don't make no move up. You know what I'm saying? Just whoever you can grab at either 8 or the top of the second round and let them, sit for 3 years under a guy, under like the tutelage of seeing how Belichick operates, getting, seeing the system with Brady, that kind of deal. I would be intrigued with that scenario. But outside of Kirk Cousins, like, that's about the only one I'd really want. I see the chat bringing up Russell Wilson, but I'm not much on that one.
Big Low, your thoughts? Kirk Cousins to Atlanta?
I mean, look, I don't know if y'all had the chance to watch QB1 on Netflix.
Right.
It's I fell in love with Kirk Cousins after watching QB1. It made me appreciate Marcus Mariota even less, if that's possible. and Kirk Cousins, I was like, man, this guy really wants to win. And if it's a situation kind of like Brother JR said, we got a 3-year plan or a 2-year plan. It's like, and I feel like Kirk Cousins has been underappreciated for years. Like, I wouldn't be mad if we bring Kirk Cousins in.
Right. Real quick, I want to give a intro like I did for everybody else. Shout out to Jack from One Time for the Fan, pulling through. The guy that started it all here for me, Philip, as the podcast. I joined One Time for the Fan to get introduced to the podcast world, and we branched off and started our own little thing. So, as always, much love for Jack. Shout out to you, sir. Jack, real quick, Your thoughts on Kirk Cousins possibly landing in Atlanta?
Kirk Cousins, Atlanta. It's possible.
Breaking news.
What's up, JR?
What's going on, bro?
everybody? How's everybody doing, man? You know,
Good.
Going on, Jack?
it's been a long week. I can tell you that right now, as a Falcon fan, and it's been an exciting week. Philip, big shout out to you over there, sir. Chase, know everything's going well with you, sir. So once again, glad
Yes,
to be here
sir.
on this platform. Hold on, I don't see nobody. I don't see somebody's picture, but I hear somebody's voice.
Uh,
What
What worry about?
What to worry about? What's going on with that, Jack?
Feeling good, feeling great. Falcon fans, this is great to be here on Dirty Fanatics United talking Falcons football with everybody. Kirk Cousins to
Yes.
Atlanta. Chase, I'm going to be real with you. We talk in the chat all the time.
Every day.
Let's keep it real. We talk in the chat all the time about the Atlanta Falcons, and if you give me a sec, I'm going to keep it real with you.
Mhm.
Right.
Run it.
Let's go down to NFL, Falcon fans. Let's go through the NFL and look at some of these teams. It's very important to snag your quarterback right now for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes.
Yeah.
This year, you've missed out on the opportunity to get your franchise guy in the past. We know that. But this year, it's very important. Here's why. If you look at Buffalo, if you look at the AFC East, right? You look at Buffalo, you look at Miami, you look at the Jets, you look at New England. Buffalo's not doing nothing with Josh Allen. We know that. Tua's not going anywhere with the Dolphins. The Jets and the Patriots need a quarterback. That is possibly
Right.
what we're looking at right now. If Aaron Rodgers can't get the job done going forward with the Jets have to look elsewhere in the future. But the Patriots right now, they're ready for their quarterback. Hearing Mayo's comments the other night about getting a position that's very important for the Patriots organization, we can see that at number 3, they're probably going to go quarterback. Can we get Penix or Daniels? That's very tough. I'm going to play into this Kirk Cousins thing here in a second here. Baltimore, we know Lamar Jackson staying. Cleveland, what are they going to do with Deshaun Watson if he doesn't get the job done
And
going
too big of
forward
a
next year?
contract. Too big of a contract.
Something to look at. Something to look at. No, they probably wouldn't get a quarterback this year. Let's go to Pittsburgh. Hearing Mike Tomlin's comments about challenging Kenny Pickett this offseason with a quarterback. How important is that, Falcon fans? Because if you're looking at the quarterbacks that's available going this offseason, if Russell Wilson becomes available, of course, with Denver, Justin Fields becomes available, Kirk Cousins is available. After that, who else we got? Keep going.
you got Jimmy G.
Okay.
You got potentially Sam Darnold.
Wait,
Jeez, I see you go.
What the fuck, JR?
Wow.
What are we
Hey,
doing
look.
here? Sam Darnold.
Yeah, like he has been openly admitted that he went to San Francisco as a career reclamation project.
He did.
JR, are you
Okay.
comfortable as a Falcon fan bringing in a new
Oh,
head
yeah.
coach and having
I
Sam
am
Darnold
not-
as head coach?
I am not
As
saying
you-
I want. You asked for available players, Jack.
True.
You asked
Exactly.
you
That's
didn't
what you
ask for
asked
what
for,
I
Jack.
wanted. You asked for so I'm running down the list, my friend.
That is true.
That's all I am attempting to do there.
After Russell and Fields and Kirk Cousins, which will probably be your 3 top candidates going for a quarterback this offseason, you have Ryan Tannehill, Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariano. Shout out to JR. He said Sam Darnold, Jameis Winston, Drew Lock, Baker Mayfield, Gardner Minshew. Ain't none of these motherfuckers finna be our quarterbacks, dog. Let's be real here in
Zach Wilson.
Atlanta. Let's be real here in Atlanta. Don't nobody want Marcus Mariota back here in
Oh, come
Atlanta.
on.
Don't nobody want
You know what I
Tyrod
mean?
Taylor in a Falcons uniform next year. You got to go snag your guy now, Falcons. You might not get 1, 2, or 3 in the draft. You can't sit there and wait for the Bears. Do we know what the Bears are doing right now? Do we know?
Yeah, they're going to draft Caleb Williams because they are over here talking to Cliff Kingsbury.
Talking to
I
Cliff
saw that.
Kingsbury, trying to get them an OC to help out Caleb Williams. So, Jared,
Right.
I'm glad you're here. You got your boy Caleb Williams going to Chicago. So what is Washington doing at 2, JR? What are they doing at?
Washington in a 2 is taking Drake May or Jaden Daniels, whoever they fall in
So
love with.
Drake Mayer, Jaden Daniels goes 2. Who will go 3 to Who will go 3 to the Patriots, JR?
Whichever one is left.
So that means that
Marvin Harrison.
Oh no,
who's in
going
the
to throw the ball?
A1, what's up, A1?
Look,
Hey,
y'all.
Zappy?
Hey, man, I'm
Hey,
hey,
one.
I'm just listening
Chris.
to y'all
Get this
fellas,
Kirk
man.
Cousins now. Let's
Smitty.
Cousins. You ain't doing nothing at 8 with them 3 picks that JR just talked about. You not getting Caleb. You not getting Drake Mayer Penix. You might not even get. You don't know who you getting at 8. The offseason is big for the Falcons. Go get
Hey.
your guy Belichick or Harbaugh before the draft hits. Do not wait until the draft because you might get asked out.
Hey,
You
look,
might end up sitting at 8 just having to get Drake May because that's what it is. But if you're trying to slide up to 1 to get Penix or Daniel, it might not happen. You might want to slide up to 2. It might not happen. Just be real
if
here.
you grab
Chris,
Harbaugh,
shout out to you, sir. Real quick, want to give a shout out to you for coming through, taking time out of your day to speak Atlanta Falcon football with Falcon content creators. I know there's a bunch of people that wasn't able to make it tonight. Shout out to Smitty. I see his mic's muted, so he must be a little busy. But Chris, how you doing, man? How you been?
Hey, man, every day is a great day, man. What's going on with all y'all fellas, man? How
What's
y'all?
up,
Hype
Tim?
about
You know,
these Falcons right
chill.
now. We hype.
Chris, we talking a little bit
Let's
about
hear that,
the a little bit about the head coaching position, quarterbacks here in Atlanta. Just real quick before we dive too deep into it, I want you to give me your thoughts on who you think or who you kind of leaning towards with the Jim or Bill situation. Is it Bill Belichick or Jim Harbaugh in Atlanta?
Well, for me, it was Jim Harbaugh. I've been with Harbaugh the whole way since I heard him coming to the NFL. That was just my number one. As far as Bill Belichick goes, don't get me wrong, not my first option, but come on now, look what we had. Come on now, and ain't no way in the world Bill Belichick gonna be worse than what we had. So
yeah, no, I agree there. Yeah,
regardless, I'm down with the brand.
Mhm.
And if they decide that they want to hire Bill tomorrow or Sunday this weekend, whatever, not my first choice again, but it is what it is. And I'm going to be down because I'm trying to get some structure and a winning culture down here regardless. And I believe those two guys in Bill or Jim can possibly do that for the Atlanta Falcons and produce a winning culture, something that we haven't had consistently down here. It's time, y'all. I'm tired. I know y'all is too. It's time.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's definitely time to get here in Atlanta. And Blank said himself he wants to win now. I think that's why he's being so aggressive when it comes to these head coaching interviews. You look at some of the candidates that we've actually requested to interview that we haven't even talked to yet. You talk about Ben Johnson, Slowick from the Texans. You know,
Right.
being he is only a 1-year OC in Texans is his first real successful year. I don't think Slowick's really on that top tier coaching yet. So I'm kind of cool if we pass by on that. But the Ben Johnson, I would kind of like to entertain that a little, see what happens there. Everybody here, y'all's thought on the, Ben Johnson interview. Would that still happen, or will we have a coach by next Friday?
You might not make it to Tuesday with Harbaugh, man. It's that big with the Falcons and what Arthur Blank is doing here. You get Antonio Pierce was on our list to be interviewed too. He didn't make it to that interview. The Raiders locked him up.
Yep.
So you might see before Tuesday, Bill is our next head coach. So Falcon fans might have to be ready for this. They're talking negotiations right now.
Yeah,
There's no. What is the second meeting about? What is it about?
Air Falcon 1. So yeah.
well, you gotta. I know, like, not, just talking procedure wise, they still have to have in-person interviews, not virtual. Like the virtual interviews that they've had, to my understanding, does not satisfy the Rooney Rule deal, right? So if what I'm getting at is if you hit that, okay, we want, if we want Belichick, you're going to see over the weekend in-person interviews with Raheem Morris and in-person interviews with somebody else. Raheem Morris is the only coach outside of Antonio Pierce that I believe that they could have an in-person interview before next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I only bring this up because of procedure and structure, the way it's structured. Okay. So the other guys
Quick
that they
question.
have.
So Aaron Glenn wasn't in person?
No, it was virtual because he's still in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So they've talked to Anthony Weaver. They've talked to Aaron Glenn. They've talked to there's somebody
Mike
else.
McDaniel.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel. They've talked to Ben Johnson and
Callahan
from the Bengals.
Callahan.
Yeah.
Okay, so Callahan they could do in person because he's out of the playoffs.
Mhm.
Anybody who is still in the playoffs, they can't interview them in person until next Friday.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So if you see what I'm getting at is if you see some rushed ass interviews this weekend, then that would be a heavy tip towards we got everything we want as far as in negotiation with Belichick, and now we need to check off the rest of the boxes, if that makes any sense. So that's something to keep an eye on as we roll into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yes,
kind of deal.
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie to you guys, man. Before the news came down about Harbaugh, the way that things were going, I was expecting probably like you were saying, like JR was alluding to, some rushed interviews this weekend, and possibly by Sunday night, Bill being hired. That's what I was expecting, because we're getting close to it's time to get into the works. It's time to let the coach get in and see what's going on and everything. So I don't expect this to be long and drawn out, but yeah, like you guys were saying, it's a possibility. If we do see some rushed interviews, then they already have their guy. But if not, then I believe that Jim's going to bring something to the table. And then we also can't forget that Joe Brady's interviewing again too.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off, but that to me lets me know, for all those people who are worried about Fontenot, whether he has input or not, like, to me, that's the one I was waiting on. Whether he gets the job or not, like, Joe Brady is Fontenot's guy.
Right.
Okay. Back before we hired Smith, it was heavily rumored that Fontenot and Brady was a package deal. Okay. So that was a deal. That tells me that they're not just Buffalo and Fontenot.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He's heavily a part of the process.
Well, they said input. So maybe that was his input. Hey, man, let's go after Joe Brady. Because I liked Joe Brady back when in 21, and I was hoping that him or maybe Bieniemy end up here. Right. I mean, come on now, former national champion, and this man is one of the reasons why Buffalo is having a success since they fired their OC. Then he comes in, completely changes some dynamics, and I look at the Buffalo Bills. I enjoy the way he uses Cook running back. So that's another thing too, man. Hey, that can be Bijan Robinson. Or that can be Tyler Algier. So
I'm
a fan of Brady.
Speaking of player personnel in Atlanta, when you look at these new head coach candidates as Arthur Blank and Terry, you've got to sit back and think this roster we have now is legitimately a couple players away from being that playoff team, that championship team that we haven't seen since 2016. When you guys look at the situation, do you think this is a situation where if Bill was to come and he wants to bring his own staff and crew, and they say, hey, we don't like who your receiver one is, Kyle Pitts, we want him out of here, we want somebody else. Is that a situation that we're going to have in Atlanta this offseason? Is that something that y'all see happening? Just your views on that situation.
Personally, I don't. Well, to be honest, I don't. You have your star players that's been doing the thing all season long. Well, I don't see why you would just want to think, oh, well, I don't want to use him no more, or what he can do.
Well, about Belichick, he don't care about no name
at all.
True.
So, yeah, some big names playing with the Patriots over the past 20 years. The accountability goes for every single player. I mean, Bill has been a great coach. I wouldn't see no major changes like that. I think the Kyle Pitts situation is something to look at this offseason. Hearing about the injury too as well, and what his usage could be going forward. But Bill has done a great job, I think, in New England. I think his record shows for itself. Even some of the moves he made without Brady wasn't the greatest, but still he was a decent head coach. And hearing the journalist talk today on the radio, the New England Patriot journalist who covers the Patriots, about the fallout in New England between Bill and the Krafts and what was going on, and how they might have used Mac Jones out of spite because of the relationship between Kraft and Bill this season was kind of tough. Hearing what the journalist said about Bill coming in here and bringing his own staff, about hearing Matt Patricia's name being brought up, about hearing Josh McDaniels' name being brought up. It's possible that Bill can come in here and want his staff. I mean, that's what a head coach kind of does. You come in here, you change some things around. But for the player personnel wise, I mean, you got Bijan who's going to be here for a little while. You got AJ, you got a decision to make coming up soon. Of course, Grady should be good going forward. You got Jesse Bates. I mean, he's walking into a really good situation here in Atlanta. I mean, like you said, Chase, not only being a couple plays away from the Super Bowl, from the playoffs, this year, if you look at it, up until that Saints game with the us against the Saints week 17, we was up until the half where we knew we had a chance of making the playoffs if the fucking Panthers would have did their job. Otherwise, the Riddick coming out in the second half, and you saw what happened. We was up until that half. We had a chance to go to the playoffs, even from that point. But if you go back to the Minnesota game, you go back to the Tennessee game, to the Arizona game, to the Washington game, there was multiple chances for you to win to get a chance to win the division. There was multiple chances for you to make the playoffs without even having to deal with that Saints game. So Bill's walking to a situation where if you would have put him in some of these coaching situations we had this year as a head coach, I think Bill would have probably had us on the side of going to the playoffs. Arthur Smith did. It was tough watching Arthur Smith make some of these calls this year. You know, as it was
more
tough.
than tough. That was more than tough, and it's so funny because you've beaten teams that are in the playoffs right now.
Bam,
and then you got teams who are drafting ahead of you that you lost to.
Yeah, that's
well. How do you pull that off? That's talent right there.
You won. That's tough.
That's the difficulties with Smith came down to bad QB play and inconsistencies, right? The inconsistencies in you would go toe to toe with the Saints and then lose to Washington or then lose to the Panthers.
Carolina,
right. That Carolina game I think broke the backs of especially of the fan base, and so sitting here trying to looking at like New England's defense, even last year, they only won 4 games, but their defense was still great. We're not, it was still an above average defense. And so if you end up with the hood down here in Atlanta, which that's the only way I will refer to him from if he gets to be the coach. But if we wind up with the hood down here in Atlanta, I would at least feel like the defense is going to take a step. There it is, my man.
It was real quick, man. I want to give a shout out to the people that I just added in. Bodie 3000, shout out to you, sir, from One Time for the Fan. Shout out to my boy John from Out of Your Falcon Mind, and shout out to the man Smooth Smitty over there on his channel. Appreciate all 3 of you guys coming in talking some Falcon football, man. We've been talking just head coaching position here in Atlanta. Been a lot of rumors going on about Jim, Bill. We're talking quarterback situation. Real quick, while you guys are here on the panel, I want to give you your chance to talk, starting with Bodie all the way to Smitty. Y'all's views on who could land here in Atlanta. Is it Bill? Is it Jim? And what quarterback are we rocking with in 2024?
Man, I mean, it's looking like Bill. Of course, we got that the Jim thing happening now, but the Bill thing is not to be ignored. And I will say that Bill coming here is not my take, but it's a take from a friend of mine. He said this today, and it kind of made some sense for those who care. I think it would give some sort of respect or some kind of respect back to the organization if Bill came here. Him being the legendary figure that he is, it would be, they would look at us. I mean, they'd probably be like, wait, maybe they'd be like the shitty organization with the legendary head coach. I don't know. But, I think they would respect us a little more, especially if he can come here and turn us around. But I mean, I mean, they're both winners. They both got knowledge and they both are respected by, former, players and other people alike. So, I mean, and I think if Bill comes here, Bill in particular, I think he would I think he'd be a veteran, probably like a Russell Wilson or someone, would probably be ideal for me. And I know a lot of people think he's ass. He's not ass, okay? Y'all go look. I mean, Denver's ass. It was the altitude, okay? It was the altitude, I promise you, okay? But no, he's a good quarterback. Okay, the numbers weren't bad. So yeah, that's my take on it. I mean either or. I'm good with either or. You can't go wrong.
What Russ have over 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 9 picks this year?
And 9 picks, exactly. Yep.
How many close scoring games do we have this season that we lost by?
Too many.
Too many.
Somebody texted me and said Russell Wilson would be a good fit here. I said this guy had 26 touchdowns and 9 picks. And 3,000 yards, and we was a fucking game away from the playoffs. He wouldn't be good here.
Right.
Big John,
we'd have won it easily.
He carries a hefty contract.
That's true.
That's the problem with that. I mean, honestly, that's the problem with one of the problems with Wilson, right? Is he carries a pretty hefty contract.
Not necessarily because $39 million are gonna be out to paid by the Broncos, so he could sign for the vet minimum. That's why I think he makes sense in that line.
Broncos
Now,
got
now
paid out.
that's if you're
minimum.
talking about if they fully. I was talking about like a trade.
Mhm.
Now,
Right,
if
right.
they cut him, then yeah, he could
Yeah.
sign for if they fully release
That's the
him.
only way we get him is they cut his
Right,
ass.
right, right.
Yeah, that's why I,
And I
I
think
think
they
that's why
will.
you're gonna sit and wait.
It's a
You're sitting and
possibility.
waiting for these moves, man. You got to go get your guy. About 7 to 10 teams need quarterbacks. About 6 to 8 solid quarterbacks coming out this year. 4 of them are rookies. You can't sit and wait. We ain't bringing no goddamn Tyrod Taylor in here.
And one
Go
more
get your
thing, I think you should. I think even if they go get a Russell or a Kirk Cousins, they should still draft a rookie high
Yep.
too.
Yeah, I'm with that.
That's what I believe.
Yeah, I agree there. That was something I laid out a little earlier. Like, you get you bring in Kurt, you sign him for 2-3 years, and then heck, even with the first round pick, like if say it's Harbaugh, you draft JJ McCarthy, let him sit for 2-3 years, like a Jordan Love, and
Right.
then he can hit the ground running. There you have a long-term plan. If it's a Belichick, draft a, Jaden Daniels or, whoever's sitting there at 8 kind of deal. Let whoever the OC groom him. Potentially you have a succession plan in place, and, let that guy take over, and he already has his quarterback. So
Big John, man, you've been hearing the talks going around the table. Your thoughts on the situation here that we're talking about? Bill Belichick in Atlanta, or is it Jim Harbaugh?
Well, first of all, man, hello to everybody, man. Good to see all y'all's faces.
hello, John.
What's up,
What
John?
is-
What's up, John?
Yeah,
what is-
I didn't know I was gonna make it here, man. I did. There's always something going on with my kid. It's always either baseball, orchestra, or some shit. So like
Glad you
just
could stop through, bro.
dude, I just rolled in, came in the office, set this shit up, and here we go. But
Yes, sir.
and Mike's out on a date, I'm pretty sure. So good for Mike. But no, man, I'm
Michael Pimp.
yeah.
With his
but-
celebrity crush.
No, unfortunately he didn't get a call back or a text back or anything back. But maybe one day.
Oh, I heard that one.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of like Bodie, man. I mean, I think Bill. I was out on Bill initially, but then as it got getting like it became more kind of serious, I was like, well, okay, let me look at it. I mean, I'm not for Bill if Bill's got all the personnel decisions. Like that's going to scare me away because that's what he hasn't been very good at. Now, if he wants to come in and coach and say, Terry, hey, you go out here. You've been scouting these players, man, and you know what scheme I want to run. We'll collaborate, but you pick these players, and I'll handle the 53. All right. I mean, that works for me. If you want to do it like that. But if I got to pick my favorite, I mean, of the two, I'd go with Harbaugh just because, I mean, a little bit younger, dude's a winner. He can build programs, all that stuff. But if it is Bill, yeah, like everybody said, I don't think he's going to go out there and get a rookie and ride with the rookie. He's going to bring in a vet probably. And yeah, I'm all for drafting a quarterback and letting him sit, whether it's Jaden Daniels or whatever, and then just letting him sit and for a year or two, and hopefully you have that succession plan, like you said, after that. But there hasn't been really anybody we've interviewed that I've just been like, oh God, no, I don't want that guy. Like they're all good interviews. I mean, I think they're all good options. So I mean, like, I'm not overly concerned. I mean, some folks are freaking out about it. I'm just gonna chill and wait, man. I'm gonna sit back. We can't do anything about it. I mean,
No
we're
time to
just
tell
sitting
you. Ain't no need to stressing yourself.
back. No,
Can't do
man.
nothing.
It don't matter how
No
much
need stressing yourself, baby.
The fun
No,
part
I-
we can look at is for all of the content creators here, it gives us something to talk about. I think,
Oh, hell yeah.
this past week
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
has been,
Yes, sir.
even since we lost to the Saints, I mean, to hear the news of the candidates being potentially put out here for Atlanta, some of these names that were thrown in the beginning outside of Bill was like, oh, wow, we can really open up this offense. We can get it. I mean, Mike McDaniel's name was being talked about. I mean, with the Ravens, I mean, Anthony Weaver too as well. Steve Wilkes with the 49ers, Johnson with the Lions. So you're like, oh, snap. Let's see if this is going to work. And then all the news came down, of course, about Bill. And it's like, oh, shit. And then Jim Harbaugh got into the picture. It's like, oh, shit. Like, so it gives us a lot to talk about to know where, for most of us that do these, these podcasts, between now and next week, Friday, everything can change for all of our podcasts. We're talking about what's happening now, what could happen next week. We're going to be talking about what is happening. You know what I'm saying? So for the content creators, this is good as a Falcon fan to know that changes are about to be made here, and hopefully it's for the better. It's for the good, because it's been some years about man, I'm tired of this shit, bro. We need to win, bro.
Man.
We need to win, bro.
tired.
Like for real, you know what I'm saying? We gotta win. Most of us are PSL or season ticket holders, man. We travel to games, we do it, man. We want to win, bro. You know what I'm saying? So let's be real about it.
And
It's
that's why I was
interesting
happy.
that you mentioned that, Jack, because like one thing that we do got to keep in mind is that I think if you have the mentality that you're trying to bring in like a Bill Belichick or Jim Harbaugh, one thing that we have to consider is that you have Terry Fontenot. Like,
Yes.
y'all realize that him and the Saints have been kicking the can down the road for the last 20 years and being able to stay underneath that salary cap. And you know, moving numbers around like there's the antagonist and the protagonist in Ozark. Like these guys
I'm
legitimately.
talking about good show, by the way.
Shit. Filmed in
These
Georgia.
guys legitimately move money. Yeah. I really feel like we're gonna try to swing for the fences. I feel like we're gonna bring in some big names. And we're gonna go hard or go home, Bo.
It's that QB that's
Smitty.
big for me. It's the QB, man.
Glad that you were able to join in tonight, brother. Always a pleasure to have you here on the show. Not your first appearance here on Dirty Fanatics United. Shout out to you, sir. You know, you've been hearing the conversation. You're on Twitter just as much as anybody else, Facebook, etc. Your thoughts on all the rumors going around with Bill finishing his second interview here in Atlanta, Jim Harbaugh getting a second interview this Tuesday in the A. Just your thoughts on the whole situation. Who are you kind of leaning towards when it comes to Jim Harbaugh and Bill Belichick? And as well as your quarterback situation as well.
I think I lean toward Belichick, and I know that's not a popular choice, but I'm looking at Bill as one guy who, and I tell people, this just goes out and scout his own players. He goes to every level, Division 1, 2, and 3. As I look at it, with the Senior Bowl coming, pro days, and then the draft, they got to have one of these guys in place. And I think Bill, to be honest, IQ-wise, he got Jim Harbaugh beat just by a little bit. And one thing about it, him and Terry are going to go scout these players themselves. And that's why I think he has the edge. Putting the right players on his team to fit his scheme, which he doesn't have a lot to do. And I hear Russell Wilson name being thrown around. I actually like Russell Wilson to be here. But if I'm going to look at a veteran, I think I'm going to roll with Kirk Cousins. I look at the season that he had last year in Minnesota. And I think you bringing a Drake May up under him, who's also a pocket passing quarterback, to me, with a Justin Herbert skill set, I think that could be dangerous down the road. Yes. So they have all the weapons in Atlanta, and Bill Belichick, I think, can unlock it the most. We may lose the defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen. I think it won't hurt Belichick because guess what? He's a defensive-minded guy. He'll still have Jerry Gray. You promote him and push him up to defensive coordinator. You put those two minds together, you come up with another awesome plan. So all they have to do is get an offensive coordinator, put him in place, use these weapons, and get the right quarterback. And I think we are a championship team because we were this close this year. We were 2 to 3 games out of the playoff race. If we had a competent quarterback and a competent play caller, we probably will be playing tomorrow and Sunday.
Hey, let me tell you something, Speedy. Speaking about that mastermind with Bill Belichick and how he's a genius with this thing, if you're looking at his career in New England during those championship run, no matter if he traded for a guy who was drafted, some of those players that he had on that defense, bro, they're still household. I'm not a fan of them. I was talking to Country the other day. We were just going over so many names that Bill Belichick coached in New England that is still right today. You know, so coming here in Atlanta with Jesse Bates already being here, AJ Terrell, Grady Jarrett, David Yada, man, Caden Ellis, man, what Bill Belichick having a fucking field day with this shit? If it's him. But
imagine what he could do with Troy Anderson.
Oh my God, man! Come on, Country. You talked about it the other day about if you going 3-4 and you putting Troy to the outside linebacker spot.
I'm putting Troy.
For sure, because of his speed. He can get to the quarterback.
I say, then you add a free agent.
Got that mental too on how they gonna think.
Then you add like a free agent, Josh Uche, who.
Well, you got the money, JR. He ain't everything's on the table when you got a guy like Jim or Bill over there. Well, the money's here. You got the 8th pick. We need a quarterback. But you throwing everything that's in a good situation for a new head coach, even if he brings his staff or not. For me, if you put me in that situation, I'm like Birdman in this motherfucker. Where do we start?
Right.
Let's get going. But for Falcon fans, that's how we should feel. And I know it's going to be a long process, but these days, like Smitty said, pro days and combine, man, this shit is just going to get us more and more amped.
And I'm gonna tell you what I like most about the situation with Belichick. Belichick and the Atlanta Falcons, they both draft well on day 2 and day 3. So that first round pick, you may get the right pick with that number 1 pick, but watch for day 2 and day 3. Those are where the skills are going to be, and that's probably where we fill the holes with more talented players. And that's why I say we're just that close to making this a playoff / championship caliber team.
Agree or disagree, everybody?
Smitty, you speaking on the rookie class from this year that we've drafted. You talk about how we've hit, and just real quick, just some quick stats. The Atlanta Falcons actually posted today. Helms finished, led the team with 8 special team tackles. Harrison had a 17.6 pressure rate. Robinson set a franchise record with scrimmage yards for a rookie at 1,400, 63 yards. Phillips III, he started the final 5 games at cornerback, and then Bergeron starting every snap there at on the line. So, I mean, you are right. Terry does hit very well on, drafting, scouting players and free agency. We went big time this year, or last year in, the first day. That's why I've talked to Jack about it and Bodie a good bit. I believe your first day of free agency is really going to determine your path of what this team's going to be here in the future. If you're the Atlanta Falcons and you do happen to go with a Bill Belichick and you're sitting there with a Terry, what is your first move on free agency day? I know it may be a little early to speak about that, but there's a lot of situations and spaces that you could go. There's a chance where you could get your receiver 2 on free agency, or if you go with your veteran quarterback,
a fucking quarterback
to take that pass rusher in the first round. What is your guys' decisions? What are you doing? Start around the table. Go with it.
Already said mine.
I'm throwing the bag at Kirk Cousins. Like if I'm going with Belichick,
there it is,
I'm
JR.
throwing the bag at Kirk Cousins. I'm taking my number 1 pick and getting either Latu or Dallas Turner, and I'm gonna do my best to eat. That's if it's Belichick, that's my move.
I'm gonna switch in reverse. I love that thought, JR. But I'm gonna switch it up a little bit, and I said this a little earlier today. I'm gonna go get Kirk Cousins, but guess what? I'm gonna go get that future left tackle to block for any quarterback that's coming. Because if you think about it, Jake Matthews is long in the tooth. Caleb McGarry, his feet are like cinder blocks. Storm Norton took his place at the end of the year, and the only competent offensive lineman that we have right now is Bergeron and Lindstrom, and they're both guards. So I'm going to get my future left tackle.
It's not bad either.
And the guy from Penn State comes to mind because he's another Tyron Smith. And I watched his film for a while, and he's Tyron Smith 2.0.
Yeah,
I
want to trade for Kirk Cousins before he even got injured. So, I mean, I've been on the Kirk Cousins thing already just to have a veteran quarterback come in and lead this team. And if it's Belichick, I agree with you guys, man. I don't see him just giving the keys to another rookie. He having nightmares about Mac Jones still right now. So, so I don't see him doing that. I think it's going to be a Kirk Cousins. And if it is a Kirk Cousins, we definitely going offensive lineman. That's where I'm standing at, just so you can have that protection, because he is coming off of injury. You want to keep him healthy and upright. And to what Smitty was saying as well, you already know Caleb McGarry, we paid him, but you already know his feet too slow. He need to do some feet drills because he just ain't that. And it's just like he was saying as well, Jake is getting older. He's a pillar. He's been a staple in Atlanta. He passed Matt Ryan as far as like starting games, so he's an Iron Man. But one thing about it, Father Time, he just is undefeated.
Must say he don't miss.
He just $23 million dead cap spot is gonna kill us if we move him. So he's gonna be here at least one more year.
He's gonna retire, Falcons.
Possibly need to move him to the right side.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Here's a question. Here's a question that we could chat about. People's been talking about a little bit about trading down in the draft. This question here says, with Bill Belichick and his strong scouting ability, part of me feels like he may trade down multiple times in the draft to add more depth and conserve cap space. Your guys' thoughts on moving down in the draft?
That was big. What was mentioned on the podcast the other night, because me and Country were talking, and the fan jumped in there and said, "Hey, don't be surprised you see Bill trade down." It also goes to this offseason of what they do in the offseason. I think we all agree here, or some of us that agree or not disagree. They won a free agency. We got to go get our quarterback, man. If it's not going to be there, you can't wait for the draft. And if it gets to a point where you're loading up in free agency, you get your quarterback offseason.
Right.
You know, you probably draft a guy in the second round, whatever. Maybe JJ McCarthy's there. However, I don't think we should do it at 8. JR, I'm sorry, real quick. Where do you see JJ McCarthy in the draft right now?
I mean, JJ McCarthy is, to me, would be with
Late
with
first,
the
second.
yeah, I was about to say, with the pool that you have at QB, he's, late round first, top of the second, unless it's a Harbaugh. And I know that sounds like silly, right?
Yeah,
but
that's very true.
Harbaugh's the one that knows him. He's made the statement that's the best quarterback he's coached. Now, what else is he supposed to say? You take that kind of statement with a grain of salt. But if you go with a Harbaugh, I could see him grabbing JJ at 8. But I'm not putting to me
JJ at 8.
Hell,
That's tough. That's so tough.
I can't emphasize hell no anymore.
I can't do
I
it.
trade
I'll
back.
get up from the podcast. I'll be like, hey, y'all, we're done with the podcast. We'll see y'all next year.
Look what you did, JR.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying that.
Hey,
To piggyback off of that, though, JR, if you get your guys in the offseason, maybe that trade down does become a possibility come draft night. For me as a fan, what I'm seeing right now is there's, I think they stay at 8 or they move up. But if it's possible, it could be possible Bill could move down. I mean, I'm not putting it out off the table, but Bill has been he's been known to do that in the past. So it's possible.
All right.
It's possible.
So let's say we don't get the quarterback in the off season. What do we do in the draft?
You better move the fuck up.
Right?
You better call everybody in
by any means, right?
Yeah, call everybody.
Trade them 2 first-round picks and them 2 second-round picks, and move up the board all the way to number 1. And
But what NFL team
got
doesn't
to.
know the Falcons
be
need
in
a
the
top
top
3?
You're gonna have to be in the top 3 for sure.
And if the Bears keep Caleb, they're not getting Caleb at 8, which means they're not trading at 1. They want this guy, Cliff Kingsbury. Who mentioned Cliff Kingsbury earlier? If he's coming to Chicago, that's our guy.
Yeah, right. Indeed.
So at
Caleb
2,
is going number 1 if they hire Kingsbury. To me,
the only thing that might be the shakeup. Here comes the shakeup. If Drake May goes 3 to the Patriots, then Daniels or Penix is probably still on the board out of the 1, 2, and 3. Then you move up to 4 to the Chargers, but you gotta know, and this is the war room shit. Smith, you know this. You know this, Smith. Yeah. You gotta know in that war room. Okay, yeah, Drake May's going 3. Yeah, Penix or Daniels.
Here's the deal. Like you talk about, where do you slot guys at? Like Penix is a day 2 guy. Like I have heard that from multiple high-end talking heads.
I agree.
Injury history,
right?
His injury history is not nearly as fluid in his movement as far as breaking out of the pocket, things like that. Like Penix is deadly accurate, but you saw it in the championship game. It's not always there, right? Yeah. His accuracy is not. The league. I've heard it from multiple sources, like the big talking heads, Daniel Jeremiah, a handful of other guys that I'm blanking on, not Kuiper, but Todd McShay and some of the other guys. Yeah. Like the league is not as high on Penix as the fan bases are.
Right.
So
I mean,
is that why he could be playing in the Senior Bowl, JR? He's trying to raise that draft stock.
That's exactly
that's the whole reason.
Yeah,
it's the only reason.
I mean, the man, we saw the pressure. We saw when he got pressure in his face in the championship game, he folded like a cheap tip. He was throwing that thing was going like cross-eyed dude in the Adam Sandler movie. That thing was going all over.
To be honest, guys, it's about what you've done lately, and I hate for him that's the last thing that people are going to see is that championship game and the things that he could not handle.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. Also, who's blocking his blind side?
Right. And we before
Caleb McGarry
players like
he said Caleb McGarry.
He's left-handed.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna die.
That's a fact.
When he sets up, he's setting up the other way. His blind side is Caleb McGarry.
Exactly.
He can't handle the speed.
Exactly.
Chase, Country gonna get mad if we don't do the Superman chat. Who had the Superman chat? Somebody in this podcast had Superman.
Was that Smitty? Who was
that? Smitty.
No, that was Wolf. Wolf Solified.
Smitty, what do you do for the Superman chat? You play a guitar? Cause I know Chunky does the do.
Oh no.
We were going crazy on that shit last night.
I just say thank you and I answer the question because I can't sing. I'm just
nah.
Country said that.
You know you break down in them temptation moves. Smitty go doom doom doom.
Oh man,
what's the group name, Smitty? What's the group intact?
Hey,
some Atlanta Falcon fans would say that if Bill Belichick was your coach here in Atlanta, that Jimmy Garoppolo would follow him to Atlanta. Your
I
guy's
think so.
thoughts on
I've
Jimmy
said
Garoppolo?
that.
And I don't
I've
want
said
that.
that.
Nope.
I've said it.
If
But
you
you gotta
hire
think.
Josh McDaniels,
I mean,
One
that's
thing
one
about
what
Bill
JR said.
Belichick,
You better listen to what
one
JR
thing
said.
about
That
Bill
Josh
Belichick,
McDaniels.
he gonna get who he comfortable with, and y'all know that.
that's
Yeah.
So
okay.
if he
Well, maybe
comfortable
he
with
need to
Jimmy
get
G,
uncomfortable because sometimes when you in an uncomfortable situation, it brings out the best. God damn.
but
Are we prepared to go to
use
training
guys,
camp and
too.
not be able to get a picture with Bill Belichick? Is everybody prepared here for that? Because he's not walking over to talk to
that's-
fans.
Hey,
that's
somebody
He
had
ain't
dropped
talking
that
to
picture.
no, he don't.
Hey, John, was that you that had dropped that picture about seeing about somebody seeing Belichick at Chick-fil-A or something like that?
Yeah, but somebody
that was
recently-
an outside Chick-fil-A. That wasn't no Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
windows
was-
to the outside. Come on, man.
Let's go over the
Yeah.
it was posted 4 years ago.
Nah,
too.
that was
Exactly.
Jack at work.
Right.
Shit.
Okay.
Bodie, I told you about bringing phones back there in the back of the restaurant. Man. They're gonna get you now.
Hey, I got
told
an
you about
idea
that.
though. Let me run this past y'all and see. And this is a dream scenario. I want to see how this works. All right, so let's say it's Jim Harbaugh. Let's just say Harbaugh comes in and he knocks the socks off, so Arthur Blanks and makes him forget about Bill Belichick. Let's just say, all right. So he comes in, and then you snatch Joe Brady from the Bills, bring him in as OC. Not only are you bringing in a competent OC who can make your offense better, you also are catering to Terry as well because that's his guy. So Terry still gets his guy. The fan base gets their guy, and all in all, you still build a winning franchise.
Okay, I get that, but I'm gonna throw a curveball way out in left field.
Of course
Say
you are.
Say you get the quarterback.
Jared both look like
quarterback,
left.
and you go through free agency, get that left tackle you need, or you use Jake Matthews, and you bring in guys to add depth on the offensive line. I would think about go get Marvin Harrison Jr. Moving up the board to go get him.
Ooh.
You want to
Hey,
open
man,
up that
one thing
offense?
about it, Marvin gonna push Drake for that number one
Hey,
slot for sure.
Exactly.
You can sit at
We're
8
gonna
and
see
pick
what the best
Oduzan.
that Drake got.
You
And
can
think
sit
about
at
it.
8.
Kirk Cousins
Yeah.
played with Justin Jefferson in Minnesota,
And
so
we
he
ain't
knows
got
how
no
to use
Justin
those
Jefferson.
tight receivers.
Hey, didn't
If we're
Justin,
looking,
didn't
if we're looking at
Justin
more of the player side of the aspects other than coaching and quarterback, let's talk a little bit about the cornerback position. There's been a lot of struggles the past few years at cornerback. We did increase a little bit this year. Like I said, Clark Phillips finishing the last 5 games at cornerback. Okuda kind of started the year off a little hot and then kind of simmered down when it hit about mid-season. Your guys' thoughts on Okuda? Is he back in Atlanta, or are we going cornerback somewhere in this draft?
Cornerback in the draft.
Cornerback in
Free
the draft, but
agency.
let's be real.
Absolutely.
Second half of the season, he played injured. They just didn't say nothing about it, but he was injured.
Yeah.
That fracture that he suffered at the beginning
Yep.
in training camp, that lingered all the way through the season, but they never said anything about it. And I could tell how he was pulling up when he was covering. His foot was still injured. So if he comes back, it's going to be on a short deal, and he's probably going to be a rotational player.
Yeah.
I ain't surprised. We hit a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Y'all
right.
know that.
Hey man, that
We
defense
wouldn't
got
even
tired,
know
man.
either.
They were carrying our asses all year, so that defense
they-
got
they, you
tired.
know,
round
Bodie,
by
you was
Lower
injured
back
carrying
for-
Coach Smith's bags down in New Orleans, wasn't you?
Yeah. Hey man,
Philip,
Yeah.
JR, John,
I
y'all
should have
thoughts?
threw them trash ass plays away. Fucking trash.
Do y'all know the joke about me and Coach Smith with the plays? Bodie, you know the joke. Chase, you know the joke about the plays when Coach Smith would walk over to me and I said, "I got the play for you." He was like, "What's the play?" And I never had a play. I was just
You
joking.
should have gave him the fucking play.
Now I see it. Like I should have gave you a whole list of fucking plays.
I mean,
it should have been helpful.
hey, look,
Spade, you
we all
missed out
gonna
on a
look play
chance
that.
to be great, man.
I tried, man.
Any play was what better than
I
the shit he
tried.
put out on the field.
Even in Tampa,
bad.
he's walking back to the bus after the Tampa game, and he's looking over at me. He's like, "What's the play?" I said, "Oh shit, joke's on you." Fuck out of here. A couple weeks later, he's out of here. So it's like, hey,
Hey
it's all
man,
right.
hey, can we agree on this about Arthur Smith? We're gonna leave that alone. When he came to that podium after that Saints game, he was fired.
He knew it was over.
Like
He
they
knew.
released it at
Martin went
12.
crying
That's
in
They
the
why he
picture.
released
lost.
it at 12, y'all, but that man was
Yeah.
fired at the
Yeah.
podium.
When
The
he went
picture
to
of
shake
Glenn
hands, he
crying.
was already gone.
He knew it. He knew it. That's why he cussed that Dennis Allen out at the end of the game.
Yeah, he
He
said,
said, "Hell, I
fuck
might
it."
as
He
well
said, if
go
I'm
out
going
with a
out,
bang.
I'm gonna go out
That
saying what I
money
want
was
to say.
already out of the job.
Country
Like, he was
mentioned
in
this the other night.
unemployment
That's
at the
important
podium.
though. he didn't say nothing to the fan base after he left. He didn't give no thank you note. Hey,
At
City
all.
of Atlanta. Hey, XYZ.
Why would he?
you
They've
guys
been
got a good
hating on him for
organization.
2 years.
He just
Yeah,
awkward,
Say,
man.
I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't have thanked us either. I ain't
Heck
gonna lie.
no.
Yeah.
Been here for 3 years. And
Yeah.
Real
Nah.
quick,
another one.
John,
Keep it real.
Horrible
JR,
aspect. Come on.
Philip,
Keep
give
it
me
real.
your thoughts. Akuda in Atlanta,
Just
is he
keep-
gone or is he
Oh.
back?
I don't
What's your
I don't think
Who
Akuda
was there to
comes back.
apologize about? We
Yeah.
wanted you gone, and he knew we wanted him gone. So ain't no need to
Yeah.
thank
I-
what? Thank you for leaving.
I don't think Akuda comes back. As far as unless it's on like a real cheap deal. But I think the play of Clark Phillips pushed him out, and this is a relatively deep cornerback class in this draft. I know that you could pick up another guy in the second or third round and probably get some of the similar play. Now it's a deal where if you are like pushing AJ, you might bring Akuda back to push him, but I don't see Akuda coming back, and with Ryan Nielsen and all them guys gone, he may not even want to be back.
Hey,
100%.
that's a good point, JR.
Mr. John?
And that's why
Yeah.
I said Jerry Gray is so important going forward. They
Mhm.
keep Jerry Gray. I think they'll be working with something.
Yeah, no, I agree with what JR said.
Mm-hmm.
If he comes back, it'll be a cheaper deal. And
2
yeah,
years.
there's no doubt that, like what Smitty said, that the play, he don't just drop off like that without being hurt or something like that. I mean, obviously we saw with Pitts, like nobody knew he had a PCL as well as an MCL. So God knows what the hell was wrong with Akuda. But I probably not. But real quick didn't Justin Jefferson say he wasn't going to? He was waiting on his contract to see what Kirk Cousins did.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
he said he wanted to follow Kirk.
He said he wanted to follow Kirk.
Do it, John. Trade the 8. Do it, John.
Kirk Cousins said he could not turn down the chance to play for a coach like Bill Belichick. So
You want to connect more
let's-
dots? His wife,
but-
Kirk's wife, is a Georgia girl.
But
Yeah,
before
she
y'all
is.
go there, Before y'all go there,
University of Georgia.
I would not pay a wide receiver $20 million again like Julio Jones. That's why I'm saying I'm going up
I
the
do
board
feel
Marvin
that.
Harrison 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
just roll with it.
Or
Well, you
we
look at-
could
look
go
at-
get somebody later on in the draft. Don't sleep on neighbors.
That's the thing, man. You got like
Oh,
look
he's
at
top 10.
Green
Receivers
Bay.
deep.
Top 10.
Receivers deep in this draft.
Look at Green Bay. They got
Must say neighbors,
neighbor.
Oduze.
Yeah.
Yeah, dudes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a kid out of Leggett out of South Carolina who is a freak.
Lab McConkey.
Hell,
Man,
Washington got 3 receivers.
Hey, look, if
Coleman,
it's
got the
Bill,
kid
he's
from,
got to have his
Florida
scrappy
State
white
coming out too as
slot
well.
receiver.
Yeah, Washington got some receivers. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
There's some guys out there, man, as far as receiver. Hey, if you wanted to go in the NFL, I think DT Higgins is going to be out there.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's guys you can go get because Mac Hollins.
Keon Coleman is a name to watch from Florida State.
Florida State.
That dude has raw ability. He's probably going to be there late first round, early second.
Super
Chondo.
I will say the next receiver is gonna have speed. T. Higgins and London.
Nah.
They,
Big-body receiver.
I feel you. I feel you, Bo.
I can't
do.
see that.
I do.
Well, we had speed. We just didn't use it at all.
Yeah, Scotty Miller.
Scotty Miller.
Well, we need him to use
That's
it.
another
And-
thing about
I mean, he was
Belichick.
open.
The problem was we never had a
Small
quarterback that could hit.
He was open, waving his hand.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
So many times Scotty Miller had to come back to the ball.
Yep.
Dude,
Yeah.
Drake London diving for catches that should have been a touchdown if it was led. I mean,
Dude, or Scotty Miller just sitting there like this and nobody
Yeah.
throwing the ball.
Let me tell you something. I'm at the game in New Orleans talking hellish shit when Scotty Miller caught that pass. I'm turning around talking hellish
I
shit.
love that. I love that AD Mitchell call. That Adonai Mitchell.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
my
Adonai
that's my
Mitchell.
boy.
Yeah,
Done his
That's
Mitchell,
my
Texas.
boy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
And
he
they
gonna be a
they
star.
actually got another receiver worthy. He's a 4-3 guy. So he's
Mm.
actually, a little bit better skill wise
Mm,
than Mitchell. So that's
Okay.
another you got to watch out for in day 2.
okay.
Yeah. And Green Bay's doing it with freaking Dontavian Wicks and
Yeah, with
Romeo
Wicks.
Doubs.
Romeo
All of
Doubs.
those.
Hey man,
Question here
Yeah.
from the chat from Trick 654
them Cowboys, boy.
says, "Do y'all think we bring back CP with a new head coach? Possibly, maybe. But as far as my question about CP, I feel like CP may have lost a couple of steps this past season. Not
For sure.
as I'm not saying he's not a good running back. He's definitely a good rotational piece. But you have a
Yeah.
Tyler Algier, you have a
Y'all
Bijan
seen that
Robinson.
Magic Johnson meme?
Did he lose a couple of steps because he was the Joker?
So y'all
Dude,
so bring
I'm-
back
Joke was
College
on us.
Park, y'all mean? Bring back College Park.
College Park. Let's see.
Cordell Patterson ain't no.
What College Park go?
Dude,
What about College Park?
he played 170.
No, I'm saying he said
College
bring
Park,
back
Bubba
CP.
Spard.
I'm saying we're not gonna bring back College Park, so we're not gonna bring back Cordell Patterson.
I agree.
Shit.
I don't see it.
I think
see
he
it.
may be going back to Minnesota, man. They want him to.
Mhm.
They want him to come back.
Especially on Twitter.
JR, Big Low, what y'all think, John? Is he back? CP?
I don't think so.
Nah, it's GG's. It's over with.
Not GG's in the
I'm
chat.
talking about trying to pass the sticks.
Yeah, it's GG's.
Pass the
Yeah.
sticks.
Man says GG's.
And I'm
You
glad
look
I
at-
finally got a chance to get on here with Bodie. Bodie, you ever got that $40 you owe me? Like, what?
Yeah.
Damn it.
God.
Oh,
Oh, you
What-
just
what-
go. Oh, you made it.
Look at the picture.
cut off the screen.
It ain't coming out of one time. It ain't coming out of one time.
It ain't coming out. Oh, okay.
Is it safe to come back in?
Yeah, and he put a picture of
My
Arthur
name is
Smith.
Arthur Smith.
You need to
Y'all
be
talking
fired.
shit about me?
You need to be fired.
You got a picture of Arthur Smith.
My man jumped in here and went straight
How
to the
dare you?
In
my
other
God.
I
words,
gave
my man
y'all the
said,
best
wait
3 years of my life.
The man said, wait on it.
The best thing is,
Man, unemployed.
Oh,
He's
man.
gonna bust him out like
Positions
that.
that you can look at, and as far as not knowing who will be there next year, you can look at Calais Campbell. I know we had drafted Zach Harrison, played a pretty good role there towards the end of the season, a couple sacks, making a big impact on what was happening out on the field. Your guys' opinion on Calais Campbell? Could he come back for another year, or are we gonna rock it out with Zach Harrison?
Would love him back.
Depending on who the coach is, I think he'll come back.
If Bill
Same.
is here, I feel like he will definitely keep him. Jim,
Completely agree.
also,
Hearing his comments of still wanting to play at that age and going back saying, "Hey, I just want to look at my body, see, look at my how I feel." I mean, you look decent. And you said before the season you're gonna play 60% of the snaps. That was a lie. You fucking played every damn play of the game. So I don't know where Arthur Smith had you at on this. You know where we're gonna use him this offseason or this season. But he showed me enough to where when Grady went down, when David went down, I was Chase. You know, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So seeing Calais Campbell come off that field is like, bro, that's what you want. Motherfucker hitting the dirty bird with a 1-year deal.
Yep.
Man, bring him back.
Get it.
We
That's
need this
true.
energy. 6 sacks too as well.
I'ma
Like
tell
we
ya-
want this energy. Bring
Ugly.
him back.
I'ma tell y'all
Ugly.
something I've been
Brian
saying.
Hill said, no, that can play a part in this, y'all.
Yeah.
We may lose
I'm gonna tell
Ryan.
y'all something I've been saying. What I like about the Falcons, how they built this team. Everybody that they brought in last year and the last 3 years, really, they built this team. So whatever coach they come up with, whatever scheme they run, all these players like Robinson, London, Pitts, AJ Terrell, all these guys, man, they can fit in any scheme. So with those 3 guys, they can go to like I said, a widespread offense. They can still, they can still do that. They can go to a 4-3 defense. A guy like Zach Harrison, Calais Campbell, you get Grady Jarrett back at defensive tackle. So I mean, they just can go so many ways with this team, man, going forward.
And that's the cool thing about it too. I know everybody's getting ready to chime in quickly. If you're looking at every group, the wide receiver group, is Mac Hollins staying here?
Super chat.
Is Miller staying
No,
here?
man,
Cordell
Matt Holland
Hodgson?
gonna be stepping on hot coals. He gone.
That's tough. But if you're looking at every group, look at some of the players that's going to be out the door. We know we're about to lose some players. Bud Dupree might be gone. Zoe Carter might be gone. We don't know what's getting ready to happen here, but we
Well,
do
Zoe
know
Carter
they're
got
getting ready-
2-year deal.
That's
He'll
right,
be
the
back.
2-year,
Yeah,
2-year.
yeah.
So if
He'll
you're
be
going
back.
off of is D'Angelo Malone going to come?
D'Angelo
back, Bill?
Malone. What is
No, he
happening?
gone.
He's still on the
He
team?
gone.
Probably not.
Shit, A1 God, you still what?
Yeah, they're the same way.
God.
So if you're going
So
on
I
Special
thought-
teams guy.
a lot of one-year
I thought he
deals.
got traded.
All the
Man, they want him for
He's a
special teams.
teams guy.
Arthur Smith loved to have him
Right.
on special teams.
Well,
Yeah.
Right.
it ain't looking
I
too
wanted
high
to
for
see what he
D'Angelo.
could do on the field, man.
They
Come
never
on, man.
unleashed him. They never unleashed him. That was an Arthur
Yeah, and
Smith
then
thing.
those games where they played the scrambling quarterback, he's the fastest guy we got on defense.
Here's one that's really
Talk
gonna.
to
You got him
man.
on the
Come
bench.
on,
Make it
man.
make sense.
Here's a guy that I really like, Bud Dupree. Y'all's thoughts on Bud Dupree
6
coming back
sacks.
next year?
Might have to bring
Big
might have to
impact.
bringing him.
Hey,
Big
man,
impact.
he had a great
I like
season.
Buddy.
I would love to,
Bubba
but
Wallace.
just depends.
It's
We'll get in
like
the
right
bid
now.
award
It
on
all
Bud
depends
Dupree.
on. It all depends on the coach.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
What
so
coach-
it's so
what
hard
coach
right
and
now
GM
to
going?
like do any kind of like free agent projections, do any kind of draft projections. It's because you don't know who's going to be calling, like who's going to be cooking, right?
Right.
We know Terry's going to be doing shopping, but we don't know who he's shopping for. And until we know who he's shopping for, it makes it real. Like, because if it's Bill, now the first thing you got to do is look at New England's free agent list. You know, because it could be Uche, it could be Kyle Duggar to pair with Jesse Bates,
and that's what I want.
You know what I'm saying?
I throw out another name, and I said it before. If we get Bill Belichick, I'm thinking Chandler Jones.
Right.
They drafted him to New England. If he can get it back up here, I think he'll be a great pickup.
Kyle Duggar's a free agent. He can possibly just sign him.
Yeah,
and I think he needs.
I like that Kyle Duggar.
So yeah, him in Atlanta, I can take that, and then we can have him. We can have Duggar, Bates, and Helms back there. Come on, now talk
to me. Y'all don't forget about Spider too. If Carolina doesn't bring this contract up with Spider, I mean, he's going to eventually.
That's a big one. That's a big one,
well.
Jack. That's probably my favorite. Favorite one that could be
So
available.
the thing about it is, Chase, you got money. You got what you need.
We probably end up throwing that money at the best pass rusher in the free agent.
You didn't
Brian Burns to stop
defensively,
playing.
but hey, you need a guy going for
Brian
long.
Burns to stop playing, man, because he don't even know his future in Carolina. He's already like, hey, I'm gonna stay ready, whether if that's here or somewhere else. Man, go ahead and get that man out.
You done missed the barber about 2 months.
Question here from Ghost Pepper says, "Is Bill Belichick is given authority to work the draft? Would that be stepping on Fentany's shoes since he's supposed to be the GM?"
I don't think so.
I mean, Kyle Smith is the one that runs the draft.
Yeah, they're the one going to work together.
Y'all gotta remember some of the statements, right? Yeah. Like Kyle Smith, the former Washington scout guy, he's the one that runs the draft.
Right.
Fontenot runs, player personnel. Like Fontenot is free agent man. Like he's even doing with signing, CFL guys in the offseason. That's Fontenot's bread and butter. So he's brought in Kyle Smith, who was responsible for drafting all that talent in Washington, to be like his draft guru. So, and I think that's, probably part of the talking points in the negotiations that are going on right now, because, the way Arthur Blank likes to run his organization, it's supposed to be a full collaborative effort. We have seen the past few years that the GM and the coach are on like even playing field as far as like a 50-50 relationship. So if Belichick's here, to me, that means he's down with that. Okay. So if he's down with that, that means it's, player acquisition from the draft, and the free agency is coming from Fontenot and from Kyle Smith.
Man, you're not down with that. No, I'm just playing.
I'm glad that you brought that up, JR, because it's like I'm a firm believer that like you have to become uncomfortable to attain success. And it's like if we look at all of these other organizations throughout the NFL, I mean, even if you look back when Jim Harbaugh was with the San Francisco 49ers, there were a lot of uncomfortable people in the front office. There are a lot of uncomfortable people in the front office with the New England Patriots. There were a lot of uncomfortable people in the front office in all of these respective programs. We're the only ones that have been sitting around the campfire singing Kumbaya, making s'mores with extra marshmallows.
Extra? What about Smudgies?
Wait, so it's like a 3-level s'more?
I'm talking now. Hey, replace the Hershey's with a Reese's. Okay?
Oh,
what?
Yeah.
Oh, you
I'm
getting
gonna put you on something.
I like Reese's.
Sugar, honey, iced tea. Goodness gracious.
Real quick, man, I want to give a shout out to John, man. John, I know you got to run. You got some things you got to do. Quick, John, before you get out of here, man, give these guys, everybody viewing, where they can find you. John's got a big platform over there at Out of Your Fucking Mind, pushing above 1K last year. Shout out to John and what they got going over there, fucking raising the roof, man, doing it big time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, thanks for inviting everybody on tonight, man. It was awesome. Glad I could pop on for a few minutes for sure, man, and talk about it. Like Jack said, man, we got plenty to talk about for the entire off season. We got loads and loads of stuff, man. So it's great for us. But yeah, man, y'all can catch us, man, Out of Your Falcon Mind on YouTube. You go over there. We're normally during the season twice a week, either on Thursdays and Mondays, kind of preview show, recap show. And then in the off season, we're doing pretty much Thursdays, unless, we sign a coach between now and then. We'll probably drop a show on that day, put out some videos. Mike does some hilarious shit on TikTok and put out some shorts and stuff like that.
Mike is a fool.
we've got some joint skits coming pretty soon. That's pretty funny. So yeah, man, just stay tuned to our channel, man. We have a good time, man, and support everybody on this channel here, man. So make sure y'all also to these guys too, because they bring amazing content every week, man. Just happy to be with all you guys, man.
Shout out to you, John, man. We appreciate you stopping through, brother.
Yeah, brother. Y'all have a great night, man.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, John.
Pound
I'll
for
be,
pound, man.
I'll be up there to eat tomorrow, John. I'll be over there to your house.
J.R. Clark, man, glad for you to be able to stop by. I know you got some
Yes,
things
sir.
you got to take care of. Let these people know where they can find you at. And real quick, before you happen to get out of here, because I know you guys carry a lot of viewers with you. If you're new to the platform, be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. We're at like 250. Just started this thing up within a year, I believe, almost at a year and a half, some change or something. But shout out to everybody that supported us through this run, man. We greatly appreciate y'all. But J.R. Clark, man, go ahead.
Yeah, y'all can follow me on obviously on Pound for Pound ATL on YouTube. Also, I'm on Twitter at Grim1128. It's Grim with 2 M's. I do appreciate the opportunity. Anytime I get a chance to jump on off, I like to do so because I love, like I said, I love chatting with other brands and other brands fan bases. It's always fun too. So I appreciate y'all letting me on. And yeah, we go live on Tuesdays and at 7 p.m. If cool news breaks, I'll probably throw a recorded video out, but for the most part, it's a live show on Tuesdays with me and my boy Jonathan. But we appreciate y'all, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
Clark,
kick rock.
man. Thank you for your time, sir.
Brother.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Y'all take it easy, guys.
I'll be by
Yeah.
your house on Sunday.
Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay, I make sure you got to
I'm
play,
gonna get
bro.
the calendar.
Just hey, look after church. That's all I'm trying to say, right?
Hello. Oh, I already know, JR. I already know.
Appreciate y'all.
A lot of
Have a
truck.
good one.
Hey,
Thank
y'all
you.
take it easy.
Appreciate you.
Peace.
All right, JR. Keep it easy, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to keep y'all guys much longer, but I do have one more question about a certain player here in Atlanta. Kiki talked about it a lot. Jack, Bodie, we all chatted about it all season. Richie Grant in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Richie
all
Grant.
right, okay. I'm going to say, hold on now.
We're good. Richie Grant.
Oh.
Nah, he gone, bro.
You see that door right there?
Get him out.
Bye.
I love
Get
you.
him out of here.
I love you, Kiki.
I was scared for a minute, boy.
We went back and forth the other day for about an hour on some shit. So
Oh my God, my chest hurts.
yeah.
Shout out to
That
Kiki,
was-
man. She's a big time supporter. She puts on for her Atlanta Falcons. And if she's
Shouts
got
out
an
to Kiki,
opinion,
man.
well, damn it, Kiki's gonna let you know it. Shout out to Kiki.
You know it.
Much
You know
love to
it.
her. Guys, man, it's been a hell of a show, man. Most viewers I've ever had here on the platform. 190 has hit. So shout out to each and every one of y'all that has came through here, man. Like I said, if
Yeah.
you're new here, please
Clap
hit the
it up.
subscribe button. Try to get 300, man. That's our goal, 300. We really want to hit 1K, but if we can get to 300, we looking nice. But everybody that's
By the
here on this
way-
platform, let them know where they can find y'all at. And go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just gonna say. By the way, this is how I feel about Richie Grant.
God.
Wow.
That's why I just didn't say anything. I was just over here, just all quiet. I was giving y'all my answer. So
You must play tight end, Chris.
you said, huh?
You must have been a former tight end
Oh,
in
man,
the
no,
NFL.
man.
Barbecue chicken.
That's one
Nah.
thing Richie Grant don't want to see is a fucking tight end. I tell you that.
God.
Tell you
Yeah.
it's been it's been guys like I had got put into a tight end, text message, for the league. It was by mistake, what I'm saying, but I just stayed in there anyway. And it was all the tight ends in the league was talking about how they wish they could play Richie Grant every Sunday. And
They
it's absolutely which is crazy.
weren't
Which
talking
is
about
crazy.
Richie
I just
Grant
went ahead
like
and got on out of there and just deleted the whole thing. I just couldn't do what I was saying.
they weren't talking about Richie Grant like they used to talk about the fast girl in high school, were they? Like they weren't.
Bro, I'm talking about like you
man.
did it too. Yeah, bro. Let me tell you how I got it, bro. You too, but bro. Yeah,
Hit him with that poison me and the crew used to do.
That is
Oh,
tough.
man,
Hearing the
listen.
comments of that Arizona tight end.
Richie Grant is the female in high school. Used to have the ball on the back of their sock with the Reeboks on.
God.
With the fat farm jacket on.
Wow.
Right.
You
Exactly.
said baby fat or fat farm?
Man, I
Baby
can't
fat
say-
farm, whatever.
Baby
yeah.
farm. It ain't even
Baby
real.
farm.
Baby farm.
Baby,
Yeah, they don't want to
baby fat, baby fat, right? It was baby fat.
baby fat.
Yeah, baby fat. Okay, yeah, it
That
was
thing,
baby fat.
it may be walking around saying fat baby.
They got that from Alibaba.
There you go.
Hey,
Y'all
decisions
crazy,
got to
man.
be made here. We do know that after every season, players, they got to clean up the locker. They got to go. It is what it is. It's a business in the NFL, and some of these
Right.
people here we know is out the door. I see about 15, 16 names that's going to be out here on the street here shortly looking for jobs. A lot of them is going to get picked up by teams. Some of them might go practice squad. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm looking at your new head coach with the money that you're going to have, sitting at number 8 in the draft. We're going to refill those positions very quickly, and I think we're going to upgrade too on some levels here as well because, like Chase, you said it, maybe a play or a player away from making to the playoffs, but this schedule this year coming up is going to be tough, man. You got the Chiefs, Cowboys, you got
the main thing that matters is just coming in here.
But if you get that right coach, you won't be worried about their schedule. You're just going to roll with it.
Right coach,
I ain't worried about
team,
Bring it
right
on.
leadership, and just culture in the locker room. We're going to be like, bring them on every Sunday.
That's what I want. We want other teams to fear us, to say, hey, them Falcons, we got them week 4. Oh, shit, that's a new look Falcon team right now. Y'all better be ready for that. That's what I want.
That's what we was hoping for this season, and we just
we sitting there with the easiest schedule this season. We finna kick everybody's ass. Look what happened.
Bro, I'm sitting in Arizona listening to Cardinals fans tell me about my team. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about, Cardinals?
Bro,
what are you talking
that part? They're
that
embarrassment.
Embarrassing.
I gotta listen to a cousin who a Carolina Panthers fan, and he was like, well, got one over on y'all.
That was tough.
You make them fighting words. Just
you're behind. You ain't invited to the barbecue, and don't come to Thanksgiving.
That was like getting your money took by a junkie when we played Carolina.
I'm talking about, and he dared you to do something about it.
But you talking about strong arm, broad daylight with no mask, Smitty? That's tough.
Right.
What kind of life have you been living, Smitty?
Hey, with the crack pipe
in the world.
I will tell you this.
Smitty don't bet.
Yeah, I will tell you this.
He don't see some things.
Great.
I'm in a chat.
24 years old. I haven't seen a lot of things. Trust me.
I'm in a group chat with some other fans, and there's a Texan fan in that chat. You know how quiet that Texan fan has been in there for about the past 2 years? Now he's in there talking.
Oh, boy.
No doubt.
He's in there talking big. You know what we do? We letting them have it, too. We letting them have it, too. We ain't saying nothing.
He got it right.
Enjoy this.
Enjoy this moment. He got it right.
Enjoy this moment. And that's what they're calling at us. They're like, Bill Belichick, what y'all going to do? Oh, go ahead, Chase.
Something that could be brought up here to talk about here is AJ Terrell. His contract is coming up. Are you giving him a big contract deal, or are you going to give him that franchise tag to kind of give a little friendly deal to the Atlanta Falcons?
If Bill Belichick when he traded.
Yeah, I think if it's Belichick, he's out the door.
That's a Belichick thing.
If it's not AJ, because I want to keep AJ, because I think we need the cornerback.
I do too, but
AJ, I think it's going to be great.
With his track record, AJ gone.
I think it may be a lot for AJ. Pay that $12 million.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what he's gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what he's gonna do. He's gonna take AJ Terrell to the practice field. He's gonna dip his hands in some Crisco. Check this out now. He's gonna dip his hands in some Crisco. Why you laughing, Bodie? Look, he's gonna dip his hands in some Crisco.
Hey,
Crisco.
Tyler.
And then he gonna say, we're gonna throw 10 passes to you. If you catch at least 5, you stay. I'm gonna tell you that's what's gonna happen.
I ain't gonna lie. AJ may be in trouble then, Lo.
He ain't gonna make it.
Damn it, I ain't trying to be like that. He may be in trouble, Lo.
He ain't gonna make it.
What movie was that with the running back? The running back had to hold the football in his hand all through the college. What was that? The program? He had the running back had to hold the football. Omar Epps, was it?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I remember that.
Everybody was in the class and somebody knocked the football out of his hand in class and they were like fumble, and everybody in the class started going for the ball in the middle of the fucking class. You still playing, you still on drills.
We used to do that. Drills. Yeah, we used to do that. Like every time you fumble, you had to do like 25 push-ups, I think.
Yeah.
Walk around with it all day long. All day long.
Hey.
Fellas, it has been fun, man. I greatly appreciate each and every one of y'all that's came through. My time here is up with the baby. I got to get into that real quick. Shout out to each and every one of y'all, man. Give me y'all's, give these people where they can find you. And once again, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all coming through.
Oh, yeah. Well, shoot, I'll start, man. Hey, Chris Tiltmore, A1 Forever Sports, man, the show that's cool and fly, too. We be generational because it's always time to be. And ain't no point of selling for less because you can always have more with the vision. You can find me on YouTube at A1 Forever Sports. You can find me on Twitter, A1 Rock. That's A1 ROC. Also Instagram, A1 Forever. And, of course, TikTok, The Real, A1 Forever. Man, it's been a pleasure sharing this platform with you guys. Thank you for the invite. Man, as long as I'm open, I'm here to do it, man. I'm about to go run and get into some school work, but I definitely had to come on and share the platform with you guys, man.
Sure.
It was great. This was something that we need to do more often. Not even gonna cap y'all down. And this was great, man. That's all the thing I can really say. This was excellent.
Yes,
all you guys, man. Shout out to you guys, man. Each and every last one of y'all bring a different element to the Falcon fan base. And shoot, man, just me being as a fan, I'm grateful for you guys. And as me being a creator, I'm glad to, be able to work with you guys.
Yes,
so,
we
man,
appreciate you,
Hey, Warren, why you gotta get all mushy, man? Like,
appreciate you, dog.
Hey, Lord, he been eating them mashed potatoes. That's all it is.
Hey, man, it's all good, man. Shit, I'm just we want to go ahead and put that out there, man. But
appreciate that, man.
Chris, we appreciate you, dog. Much love.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Get with you, fellas.
Yes, sir. Always.
But man, y'all can find me Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube, man. Everybody in the chat, if y'all coming in from my page, please go to Dirty Fanatics United. Please subscribe. Please like the videos. Help him get that subscribe number up. Y'all know Big Low, my boy Chris, my boy Alberto, who could not make it. Shout out to Mr. 95 North, Bodie, Jack. One time for the fan. I just thank y'all, man, for always supporting me, man. I'm almost at 10K. So keep pressing that subscribe button, man. And I got a big shindig plan when I hit 10,000, man. So
we
thank
throwing
y'all
a party.
for always supporting your boy.
Yes, sir. Shout out to you, Smitty.
Find me on you.
Coming soon.
Yes, sir. Smitty growing big time.
It's irrelevant.
Smitty, much love to you, brother. You've been on here a couple of times. You've helped us grow tremendously. The first time you came over on the show, you got us, I believe, 50 subscribers in one show. So shout out to you, Smitty, and the people you bring over here to the platform, man. Much love.
Facts. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Be lit.
Big Low. Shout out to you,
sir.
man. It's first time on Dirty Fanatics United, man. I appreciate you coming through. I know you bring a big following with you as well, doing it big time over there on your platform. Let them know where they can find you at if they don't already know.
Hey, man. Well, look, first of all, I don't know about doing it big time, and thank you so much for inviting the Po folks to come out and chill out with you. I definitely and greatly appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir.
Look, everybody that's watching, y'all make sure that y'all go subscribe to Dirty Fanatics United. Make sure you check my boys out, man. They making great content over there. Also, make sure that you check out the whole conglomerate of One Time for the Fan, the greatest podcast in the world.
Yes, sir.
One Time for the Fan, man. I make sure that y'all check them out. They make great content. For everybody out there that don't know me, my name is Big Low Country. I'm just an old country boy and former football coach that love to sit around and talk about sports. We bring you informational, very hopefully entertaining content. And sometimes we could add a little bit of humor to it. So make sure that you check us out: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, smoke signals, telephone, fax machines, anywhere that you can find us at.
Shout out, Big Low, man. Appreciate you coming through, dog.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
Peace.
Put it down, country.
Bodie, Jack, the ones that started it all. What's up, man? Appreciate y'all coming through, dog. Always, giving your views on the Atlanta Falcons. We do this not only on this platform, but at One Time for the Fan, too. So be sure to check out One Time for the Fan. Jack, let them know where to catch you at, bro.
Hey, One Time for the Fan, man. This has been great having JR on here and John from Out of Your Falcons Mind and Smitty, A1. This is good because Falcon fans need to know that we are all excited about this upcoming season. I understand it was disappointing what happened in the past couple of years, but there's always time for a change. I think in our lives too as well, we know even if you had some things in your career that wasn't going the right way, there's always a chance for change. And right now the change is coming. Whoever this new head coach may be, we'll find out. However the offseason is going to ride out, we're going to find out. But I'm excited to be a fan of this team. You always know I always support the 53, the organization. We joke a lot. We don't bash players and stuff like that. You might have heard some things here tonight. We're just joking. These players put everything on the line in that Falcon uniform to get us excited about wins and playoffs and division championship. We just want to win, y'all, at the end of the day. My name is Jack Spade, Bodie 3000, Chase. We represent One Time for the Fan. Chase with Dirty Fanatics United. You're doing a great job, too, as well. This show tonight is very powerful. So I hope a lot of people get a chance to tune in and listen and watch and see what we got to say. But One Time for the Fan, yes, we've had, 3 shows, I think, this week. We had a show Wednesday, had a pop-up show yesterday, and a show here tonight, helping also being here with Chase. And then Sunday night, we got another podcast coming up. It's going down, man. We are excited to be fans. Sunday night at 8, One Time for the Fan. We are back. Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast. Going to Wednesday. We got another show Wednesday. We might have a couple pop-up shows in between time. It's the off season. We love this content. This is, man, so much coming here with One Time for the Fan, man. Of course, Dirty Fanatics United doing a great job. Philip, y'all doing a great job over here. And I'm telling you, man, when you see shows like this tonight, all these fans chiming in and they're giving their opinion about the coaches and the quarterback and AJ and what players to go sign, they are excited too. So it's very important that when we cut this microphone on, you know, we bring everybody to the channel and we all rise up together because we are trying to bring not only the wins on the field, but off the field as well. Sir. Jack Spade, One Time for the Fan, man. I see y'all on Sunday at 8.
Appreciate you, Jack. Appreciate you, bro. Bodie, 3,000. What's good, brother? Appreciate you coming through, man. Always love hearing what you got to say about these Atlanta Falcons. You always bring it straight forward, and I appreciate you coming through, man, showing us support.
Yeah, man. You know, I tell it like it is, you know. I just said, Jack said, I don't bash the players, you know. I just bash they play because they ass like damn Richie Grant. That shit was ass, and he knows it. He knows it. But I mean, yeah, man. I'm just here, man. Y'all know, you know, we One Time for the Fan, man. We found this was powerful, like you said, man. This is a big deal. This is, I think you broke the Falcons content creators internet. Phillip, I think y'all broke it tonight, so that's a big deal. So congrats to y'all boys, man. Y'all done brought all the traffic over here, man. Yes, and one more thing, Philip still shitting on you with his room.
Yeah, he got me. He got me.
I need you to get some lights on, get something.
We'll give you some red LEDs, man.
All right, so man, yeah, man, it was fun. It was fun.
Yes, sir, brother. Appreciate you coming through, though. You know, we're gonna see Sunday. We'll be chatting it up again. So appreciate you coming through.
Already.
Philip, been a hell of a show, man. Had a lot of traffic through tonight. We hit 190 viewers at one point here on this show. Shout out to everybody that came through and supported us. Philip, I know you got shout outs. Let them know who you want to shout out tonight.
Well, shout out to everybody that came through tonight. We created the Avengers.
Yes, sir.
Man. We had everybody. Shout out to everybody that came through. No, I didn't really say a whole lot, but I just wanted to hear everybody else's opinions. You know, I wanted to hear it out. You know, it was good thoughts. I appreciate everybody with their thoughts. Also in the comment section, shout out to everybody that was, you know, people I've never seen in the chats before. You know, shout out to you guys. You know, that means a lot.
Hit that subscribe button, man. It's free. It's free. Head over to YouTube on Dirty Fanatics United at Jace_ATL Hit the subscribe button, man. We need it badly.
We dropped shorts and everything else and content. We haven't been, you know, constant with it this past week. We've been busy, but hey, we will eventually get more content out like that. So shout out to everybody. And as always, man, rise up.
Yes, sir. Shout out to everybody that tuned in, man. Shout out to everybody that hit the subscribe button tonight. If you're new here, man, we greatly appreciate y'all. We have giveaways. We're going to do a hoodie giveaway. We give away game day tickets, jerseys, signed autograph hats. So be sure to stick around for the free giveaways here at Dirty Fanatics United. The only way you're entered is if you're subscribed. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, man. Shout out to each and every one of y'all that was in the comment section tonight. Y'all each brought something to talk about, your views, your potential seeing of what could happen here in Atlanta. We greatly appreciate all y'all. And once again, man, it's your boy Chase and Philip. And as always, this is Dirty Fanatics United signing off. A-Town down.